Some Yast Fragments. These two Yasts fragments are known among the Parsis as the Hadhokht Nask, though their context does not correspond to any part of the description of that Nask as given in the Dean cart. A Pahlavi translation of these Yasts has been edited by Haug and West. Yast 21 is a eulogy of the Eshem Vohu prayer, the value of which rises higher and higher according as the circumstance under which it is being recited are of greater importance. 1. Zarathustra asks to Ahura Mazda, O Ahura Mazda, most beneficent spirit, maker of the material world, thou Holy One, what is the only word which is contained in the glorification of all good things and of all things that are the offspring of the good principle? 2. Ahura Mazda answered, it is the praise of holiness, of Spitma Zarathustra. 3. He who recites the praise of holiness in the fullness of faith and with a devoted heart praises me, Ahura Mazda. He praises the waters, he praises the earth, he praises the cattle, he praises the plants, he praises all good things made by Mazda, all the things that are the offspring of the good principle. 4. For the reciting of that word of truth, O Zarathustra, the pronouncing of that formula, that Ahuna Vairya, increases strength and victory in one's soul and piety. 5. For that only recital of the praise of holiness is worth 100 Kshnatras of the beings of holiness, when delivered while going to sleep, 1,000 when delivered after eating, 10,000 when delivered during cohabitation, or any number when delivered in departing this life. 6. What is the one recital of the praise of holiness that is worth 10 others in greatness, goodness, and fairness? 7. Ahura Mazda answered, it is that one, O holy Zarathustra, that a man delivers when eating the gifts of Harivatat and Amaritat, at the same time professing good thoughts, good words, and good deeds, and rejecting evil thoughts, evil words, and evil deeds. 8. What is the one recital of the praise of holiness that is worth 100 others in greatness, goodness, and fairness? 9. Ahura Mazda answered, it is that one, O holy Zarathustra, the man delivers while drinking of the ha'ama, strained for the sacrifice, at the same time professing good thoughts, good words, and good deeds, or rejecting evil thoughts, evil words, and evil deeds. 10. What is the one recital of the praise of holiness that is worth 1,000 others in greatness, goodness, and fairness? 11. Ahura Mazda answered, it is that one, O holy Zarathustra, that a man delivers when starting up from his bed or going to sleep again, at the same time professing good thoughts, good words, and good deeds, and rejecting evil thoughts, evil words, and evil deeds. 12. What is the one recital of the praise of holiness that is worth 10,000 others in greatness, goodness, and fairness? 13. Ahura Mazda answered, it is that one, O holy Zarathustra, that a man delivers when waking up and rising from sleep, at the same time professing good thoughts, good words, and good deeds, rejecting evil thoughts, evil words, and evil deeds. 14. What is the one recital of the praise of holiness that is worth this Karshvara of ours? Havan Iratha, with its cattle and its chariots, without its men, in greatness, goodness, and fairness. 15. Ahura Mazda answered, it is that one, O holy Zarathustra, that a man delivers in the last moments of his life, at the same time professing good thoughts, good words, and good deeds, and rejecting evil thoughts, evil words, and evil deeds. 16. What is the one recital of the praise of holiness that is worth all that is between earth and the heavens, and this earth and that luminous space, and all the good things made by Mazda, that are the offspring of the good principle in greatness, goodness, and fairness? 17. Ahura Mazda answered, it is that one, O holy Zarathustra, that a man delivers to renounce evil thoughts, evil words, and evil deeds. And it's interesting that the number 17 comes up here. I've talked about 17 in other contexts, but where the Goths recited in the Islamic tradition the number of bows that are required in the night and day sequence. But the thing I was thinking of is the ha'ama. So we have these chemicals running through our bodies, our brains in particular, that produce these sensual, emotional, psychiatric highs. The perceptions and the colors and patterns and all that sort of stuff. We don't need opium. We don't need ephedra. We don't need marijuana. We don't need any of the other plants in ha'ama. I mean, some herbs that aren't intoxicating, can be more regularly had. And we continue the Zamyad Yast notes. Adar Fraba, the glory of the priest, is meant here when they sawed Yim. Adar Fraba saves his glory from the hand of Hadhokht. And, well, we know there's some doubt in terms of the words, but, here, give it up to me, or perhaps we don't know the preciseness. And in verse 50, that same phrase. Apam Pat is, the son of the waters. And we've learned elsewhere that the word for horse is a little bit wider than we realize. And we have allusions to the origin of life myths, the well-shaped part. And the Athravan, the person who ritually uses the fire, or whatever has a particular glory to themselves. Of course, we know that you don't have to pray in front of the fire. The fire is just the inside option. There can be the moon or the facing south or whatever was the direction. It wasn't that the moon or the sun or whatever was, or the fire was a god. It was just, the uniting prayer direction of the group. Lake Husru is within 50 leagues, parasang, of Lake Kakast, or Lake Urumia. Ethana Ahma'e is the formula that's mentioned in 57. And so the evil thoughts, evil words, evil deeds, that's, the itha kind of ties to the Arabic phrase as saying the same thing. Tarshuka, Kushudraka, translated Danyana Madhunika. Afrastyab was charged with having laid Iran waste by filling up or conducting away rivers. Hamza Ispahensis, page 34. And Afrastyab's threats may be answered by the Haramaz to come against phrase of verse 58. And the situation of the lake, while that's not mentioned. Itha, Yathana, Ahma'e, Avatha, Itha, Yathana, Ahma'e. and that evil thoughts, evil words, evil deeds mentioned again. But so we're going further to 48. That cleaves unto him. So verse 66. That is to say, anyone who the Kavis are kings of Iran are meant. Like Kosovo was supposed to be the home of the Kayan race. The Kavis are enumerated in the following clauses. While certain kingdoms arise from certain places, it's like the Mongolians were part of a people that spread from a particular group. Genghis Khan's group spread out, but it wasn't like his race didn't exist there. But it sounds that there was actually what we'd call a race, maybe a 20th race, was said to have been killed off during the Afghan war of the past 20 years. Zara or Hamun is a sea in Sistan, and here we're calling it Ha-Etumant. Oh, Lake Kas... Wait. Okay, no. Lake Kosovo. We talk about the 7 seas, but then there's other things labeled seas outside of that Greek, the area that the Greeks talked about when they were talking about that. The Helmand, Atu Mandros in Greek is Ha-Etumant, and Mount Ushadhau is the seat of Havareno. And, we have the waters of glory being talked about here in verse 67, in the midst of which the Kaaba has been nourished, and the Veremis, as the making the white Veremis, whatever that is. Of course, the Whitewater Rapids, perhaps. There's sacred when it comes to the inherent, the spiritual, it's a vibe there. But there's also the egregor effect that builds up by the mental focus and physical use of a place as a sacred place. Ur Vasara the words of the lead here and have been supplied from Yast 550. The text here has 2 words, Tam Keresem, of which both the reading and the meaning are doubtful, and Keresevazda of the Karsivas, is Karsivas in Ferdowsi's writing, the brother of Afrasyab and the murderer of Siev Arshana. He was put to death by Husrava in company with his brother. And it's said that the Da'avas left off injuring would be wailing and lamenting in the case of we're in, because of the prayer. They withdraw their ways because of what they're doing. Okay. Oh, and, violence was laid to them too, so maybe we're talking about humans and jinn combined. Zarathustra and Vistaspa are, those 2 that made the will. So the Turanian they were trying to seize. Okay, they were trying to usurp the authority of Zarathustra. So it said elsewhere that Zarathustra was killed. So And isn't there Islamic narration about how one of the ancient people that, the Christians would call Antichrist, one of the one of the four great Antichrists of the past, had killed the Persian prophet, or had him killed or something. The spear pushed forwards. The droog being driven forth. We have reference and like all that magical stuff with the swords and stuff like this. So this is what's being represented, you could say. So the Xiao Shant and other stuff like that. So there's a contradiction in the text, which I guess is important that it was brought out. When the bull was killed, when Drva'u was killed, when the bull was killed, okay, in verse 93. So it conflicts with what we know of the Fran Gracian legend, unless the text is corrupt and the name of Fran Gracian has been introduced here by mistake for Kerasaspa. Yet it may allude to brighter sides unknown to us of the Turanian hero. The bull Ga'us may be his brother Agra Evratha, the bullman, Gopa Tisha. Well, sometimes some stuff has older origins and then they changed it, but like the whole Goliath thing, there wasn't one Goliath. People, come on. I mean, in the biblical tradition, and there's a name of an evil spirit called Pa Assis. The creatures of that entity. So, leader of legions. More talk about that leader of legions. A genie of the water is, well, okay, that's not the right word. The being of the waters. Akim Mano. Oh, no, it is this thing. The jinn of the waters. Akim Mano. Smitten by Bohu Mano. And to obtain the name Venant, which means to smite or overcome. So we're on the Venant Yast. And so, we're going to actually maybe catch up with this program here. The particular office of Venant is to keep the passes and gates of Mount Alborz, around which the sun, the moon, and the stars revolve, and to prevent the Paris and Da'evas from cutting off and breaking the road of the sun. The reptiles and other Ahrimanian creatures, which are destroyed by the rain. Well, I noticed the turtles kind of move uphill if we've been weeks without rain. Or at least sometimes when they're expecting heavier rains, like, I guess maybe they can tell stuff is coming. And in regards to Asha, you have the Asham Boho. So 100 times the formula be the propitiation. Krishna A'atra unto whatever, the holy and master of holiness. And we, of course, have eating and drinking. 98. So we're in the Hadhokht Nask. Emeritat. Eating and drinking. Ha'ervatat and emeritat. Well, that's not what that means. Though, but that's the gifts thereof. I'm sorry. I'm kind of fumbling my words here. So the penitential prayers and stuff like this were representing a conversation. The name of the second gatha begins with the phrase usta. Oh, where's this thing? Happy is the man is the opening lines. And, but we've caught up here.